What's up, guys? It's February 11th, Tuesday, and it is 12:19 p.m. This is going to be a crypto market update. We're going to look at some of the macro drivers, crypto drivers, Bitcoin, of course, and then others, and then we'll get into a few individual altcoins. So let's dive straight into it. So first off, let's start with Bitcoin. So with Bitcoin, right, we've been waiting for the decision to be made, and last week was a critical week for Sunday. So a couple days ago for us to see a strong rebound. If we're going to see immediate new all-time highs for February, and we didn't recover as fast as we needed to. So now we're seeing some not so good signs pop up with Bitcoin. As you can see, we have a 1 week sell now signal currently flashing, but it is not yet confirmed. 5 days and 7 hours until this confirms. Definitely not a good sign. And by looking to the left, looking to the past, we can see why this isn't the best sign here. And let me hide the drawings. So if we take a look, the last time that we flashed a sell now signal was April of 2024. And, we're seeing one flash as we speak right now, but not yet confirmed. And then previously before that was March of 2021. And then before that was, August 2019. And you can see kind of what happened after those points, right? After those points. So definitely not a great sign right there, to be honest. Just got to give it to you straight. But we have 5 days and 7 hours left before this candle confirms. So we could, if we get back above 100K, this could go away. And I would say that this week is going to be important deciding week, because we have a lot of macro data coming out. We have the Fed chair testimony today. We have a lot of key data coming out. Another Fed chair testimony, core inflation, PPI. We have retail sales. So yeah, all these things, this data that's going to come out this week is going to ignite the next move. And if we can see, the market act favorably to that data, then we'll likely negate this signal by the end of the week. And if the market doesn't act, good to it, then we'll see the results of that. And this signal is going to be the spark to that. So if we see prices start to move down, where do we need to hold, must hold level? Is this shaded box here between 92.5K to 94.5K. Absolutely need to hold that level. You can see we have the green market structure ribbon on the 1 week there. We have the purple MA on the snakes there, as well as if we throw up the fib forecaster, we have our 786 right there. So must hold level is there. And then also too, we have the 1 week 21 moving average at around like 89K as well. So if we can't hold that, the low 90s right there, then our last line is that 89K. And if we can't hold there, then we're going to see a move down to the lower 80s, potentially high 70s, and that will be the blood in the street moment for alts as well too. And that will be our last kind of bloody moment before ultimately our bottom being set and then us starting a new wave up. So definitely not a good sign there. We need to see us recover ASAP for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's the daddy. It's going to move the market. So seeing that sell now, it's no bueno. So we need to see that data this week be the spark to a nice relief and recovery in Bitcoin, and that will bring relief to the rest of the market. Looking at others here, so let's go to, so one thing that's interesting is we have a 3-day prepare to buy soon on others. So let me hide some of these things here. So as you can see, we have 3-day prepare to buy soon on others. The last times that we've seen that was here in June, July 2024. We did ultimately have one move lower, but that was the August wickening. And then but basically this was the general range of where we found, our prices bottom out. And then back here in 2023 at this bottom, and then 2022, this bottom, and then 2022 again at this bottom. The local lows of the bear market here, 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 and then here. And then if this were to do the same thing, this would mean that, this is generally the range of where we could see prices be bottoming out. So we just climbed a stair in that case. So good sign there, but we need to see the 3-day buy now come in for the blood to be over. And taking a look here, we're not quite close just yet. We need to see some more momentum come in on the 2-day, the 1-day, right? So we're trying on the 1-day, we're trying on the 2-day, but it's not quite there. Looking at the 12-hour, we can see if we're starting. We did start to see the momentum come up, but at this point in the market with the weakening from the other day and just the shock from that, I would like to see more out of the 1-day, 2-day, 3-day, those medium time frames. Because looking at the 12-hour chart, we got that buy now. We saw that the momentum start to cross up. But if we start to see the stock RSI pull down like that and get below that 50 line, I mean, that will be another blood moment, because you can see at this point when we got up to here, that was our local top. And then when we got that through the 50 line, that was the start of that weakening. So if we start to see in the next, 24, 36 hours that comes down, then we could see another moment like that. And that would be our final bottom, in my opinion. So we need to watch out for that. So that's the other chart. If we're looking at the Fib forecaster, that would bring us down to the 2618 extension. It would bring us to the top of the belly of the beast. But we have our first 786 here, our line right there as well too. So that would just be a retest of the wick. But I definitely don't think we're quite out of the woods yet, especially looking at, the macro signals on something like Bitcoin. We need to see some more recovery happen before us saying, all right, we're good to go. All right, so macro drivers, looking on the left side, we do have the bond yields, and they are, it's starting to come up and start to break back up. We started to break down below this rising wedge, but now we might be coming up to reclaim it, but we're right at the trend line. So the next 24, 36 hours, we'll start to see. But I mean, even looking at the past here where we saw a leg up in the bond yields, this moment right here, that leg up, you can see we're doing things similar right now with the TSI MACD, TSI MACD. This could be setting up for another leg up in the bond yields to bring us up around 4.93%. And, when bond yields are going up, dollars going up, the US Russell 2000 going down, that's not a good environment for altcoins and crypto in general. So that could be, the macro data shaping up to, insinuate what's about to happen here with Bitcoin this week, and then the altcoins having an effect on that as well too. So the dollar right now, we are about to cross down below that zero line, but we need to see it cross down aggressively. Right now, we are getting hung up, and the MACD starting to come in. If we see this start to curl up and cross up like this, go up like that, that's going to cause for another move up in the dollar. Like back here, we could see, another, pop up in the dollar, bring us up to around 111.51. And then worst case scenario, getting up to 115. And, that's not going to be good for the environment for stocks and crypto. It's not going to be. So let's now go to the US Russell 2000. And what we needed was the momentum to continue to go up and us to break above this key level. But now we're seeing the 1-day cross down. And if we cross down and get back below the zero line, this will at least cause momentum to head down in the short to medium term, and at least cause us to revisit these lows down here. And that's not going to be good for crypto. If this is going down, these things are going up. That's not a good environment for crypto. So we need to watch these things like a hawk this week, especially with the data coming out in the next few days. And because right now the atmosphere is not lined up for a quick recovery. So let's now go to the crypto drivers. And what we got here is on the left side, we got USDT dominance. So let's throw this up. And looking at something like the 10-day chart, I mean, we have, and let me kind of clean this up so you can see it better. And then April, we saw that buy now, and now we're seeing 10-day prepare to buy as soon as again. And we're getting close to flashing a buy now, potentially in 8 days. And remember, April was when Bitcoin had flashed that sell now previously. So we are seeing some things potentially line up, like back last year, but it's not quite confirmed yet. But I will say, if we see USDT dominance, get above all this cluster moving average here and hold that support, and you start to see that momentum come up, and especially if we get above the zero line, will not be good. Absolutely will not be good. And likely we'd come up to revisit the 2618, which would bring us up to these highs over here, like back in August, like back in January 2024. So it wouldn't be good. We want this to go down if we want cryptos to go up, because we want the dominance of stable coins and we want stable coins to flow out into the actual cryptos. If the dominance of stable coins are rising, we're seeing the opposite happen. So now looking in the middle, we see Bitcoin dominance. We want this to go down if we want alts to go up. And right now we did see a 12-hour sell now come in. But we need to break like 61% flat, but we're not quite there yet. So that's a 12-hour chart though as well too. We need to go to some higher time frames. The 1-day chart is getting close to a potential cross down with the momentum, but looking at like a 3-day chart, we are still heading up here in the momentum. So the smaller time frames are starting to cross down with the momentum, but the medium time frames are still headed up here. Looking at the 5-day, looking at the 10-day starting to come up. But I do believe that we are getting closer to Bitcoin dominance topping. We're already up. We flash pumped up to like 64%. If we take the bigger picture Fibonacci here, let me change this to long term, and then let me take the high back from 2020, bring it down to the lows here. We actually wicked right up to that 786. Let me hide this. So as you can see from the high in Bitcoin dominance in January 2021 to the low that we had set in 2022, that wickening the other day brought the Bitcoin dominance right up to the 786 with a tap. So I believe like 64.43%. I don't see us going higher than that point in Bitcoin dominance. And if we can break down below 61%, it's likely we're going to come back down to 58%. And at that point, if we can melt down and close high time frame candle bodies below that level, and especially 56% with these moving averages, that's going to be the start to our meltdown in Bitcoin dominance and our melt up in altcoins. So let's look at now others dominance and go to the 10-day chart, and we can do the same thing here, just inverse. So we have the March of 2021 low, this low to the tops up here. So we came down to the 618. Actually, let me go to this point right here. So we have our, January 2021 low to the high that we put in January 2022. We came down to the 702, not quite to the 786. We did a retest of the level back in June of 2023. If we were to go lower in others dominance, I think we'd come down to like 7.34%, but that would be the line in the sand. That would be the 786. And that would be coinciding with the bottom of the void lines here as well too. So I believe, we're at this bottom range, there's not much blood that could ensue across the board still. Like it's like this last squeeze out of altcoins really getting decimated. And then all of a sudden it can really turn around quickly. So even though, things for altcoins are shaky and have been, it can change real quick. So let's look at the momentum. So on the 10-day chart, we're just kind of coming back down here. We need to see a cross back up on the 10-day. Let's look at the 1 week. 1 week is doing like bullish divergence. You can see a low to a higher low to a higher low currently, and we've, with the price action, gone low, lower low, lower low. So we are seeing some hidden bullish divergence here. You don't see it actually on the dominant chart, but when you look at these indicators down here, and you can see we're starting to build some strength, although we're going lower, all of a sudden this thing is just going to snap back real quick and come up like that. That's going to breach us through some of these key resistance levels, and then we're just going to be out to the races. But it's just a matter of, we need to see a catalyst, something to ignite it. And I believe we're getting close. It's going to be all of a sudden, but still we need to watch out for these key things for these macro charts and the drivers, crypto drivers as well too. So that's going to cover, that covered the macro drivers, crypto drivers, Bitcoin, others. Let's get into a couple altcoins. So we'll go into XRP. So looking at something like XRP, right? So XRP has a 1-day prepare to buy soon here. Let me hide the bonus indicator for a sec. Yep. So we have a 1-day prepare to buy soon here. The last time that we had flashed those signals was back in October and September of last year when XRP was on top of the belly of the beast around 51 cents. And then we started to fire up. But we still have no buy now yet. So until then, we don't have that buy now. So right now, the 1 week is going to start to, pull XRP down until we start to see the 1 day buy now come into effect. But in my opinion, we're not out of the woods yet. Even seeing that 1 day prepare to buy soon, we can flash a prepare to buy soon for a while. Just how you can see a prepare to sell soon flash for a while. We started to go out to the macro because we started to break out of a macro downtrend back here, right? So at this point, we didn't look at the 1 day to know when to sell. We're looking at the 1 week. And now, but we can still look at the 1 day, the 2 day, the 3 day to know when to buy back in, because you're not going to see a 1 week buy now flash after a 1 week sell now. The 1 week buy now will flash years later at the bear market bottoms, like how you saw in 2022, a buy flash at 33 cents, but we had a sell flash in 2021. So it wasn't a year and a half later until then, but there was opportunities within here, for buying and then selling, buying and selling. And that's where the 1 day chart or the 3 day chart is going to come in for us to know when to buy back in the shorter term. Because as you can see here, we had a 3 day buy now flash like back here after that sell now had flash there. So, we're waiting for a 3 day, 2 day, 1 day buy now to flash before ultimately getting back in on something like XRP, because we have those higher time frame sell nows that had flashed, like the 1 week, probably the 10 days getting close as well too. Not good. I mean, to me, it's not like we're going to fire up tomorrow. We got some time for these things to work itself out. But if XRP gets back above, $3.40 and then ultimately above $3.80 and holds above there, it's on. And then we can start targeting the higher levels around. And I believe we'd go from like $4 up to $8 real quick. But until then, we have a lot of working out to do as far as the momentum on these higher time frames. It doesn't just reverse automatically, and we just send it up. I believe that we have some time to work these things out. And I don't believe, even though the 1 week sell now has come in, I don't believe it's the ultimate top. It's usually 2 sell nows before the ultimate top, 1 and then 2. And then within this period where I believe that we're in, you do have those 1 day buy nows and sell nows that will come in. So if we go back, you can see here that, there was opportunity within this sideways action, buy, sell, buy, right? In this time period where it could just go sideways. And this did it for around 200 days the last time. But there was good opportunity in here. You had a buy and then a sell. This was like a 60% move, and then you buy back in. So a good time to, swing trade XRP now and accumulate during the sideways period. And then ultimately we go in for the last move up. 1 day sell now, and then you had a 1 week sell now back there for the second sell now to come in, and then the macro top comes in. So although we had that 1 week sell now right now, I believe there's still a ton of opportunity to swing trade within this kind of sideways accumulation phase that it's going to do, right? Either if it's in between this phase or if we head a little bit lower, we're going to be watching out for that 1 day buy now to know, to take action during this phase of sidewaysness, knowing that the ultimate top isn't in. We still have some more room to go until the next sell now comes in. Then we know at that point, that's the ultimate top. But yeah, 1 day prepare to buy soon. After having that sell around $3.13, we're at $2.42 right now. I don't believe we're just going to automatically reverse and go like this. I believe there's some room here. We want to wait for that 1 day buy now. And you'll be able to look in the Discord. Let me throw that up. So you could go in the Discord and look here at, the XRP signals. Let's go to it and wait until you see that 1 day buy now come in. We had a 12-hour buy now come in, but no 1 day. You'd want to wait for the 1 day. You're also seeing very high time frame prepare to sell soon. 2 months. We had 3 month prepare to sell soon. So high time frame prepare to sell soons. We saw the 1 week confirmed, but like I showed you just on the visuals, waiting till that 1 day buy now comes in, 2 day buy now, 3 day buy now, that will tell us, hey, we're ready for the next second leg up. And then ultimately when that one 1 week sell now flashes, then that'll be the macro top. So yeah, so utilize the signals within the Discord as well too. The macro signals in here is all the 1 weeks, But if you can go into the individual channels and you want to at this stage look at, nothing like a 12-hour or like 11-hour or shorter time frames, but if you can see a 1 day buy now or a 2 day or 3 day buy now in there, that's a solid signal for re-entry. But you can't discount the higher time frame signals that are flashing. So hopefully that makes sense. Actually, there's one more coin I want to take a look at, Ondo, because I just saw that they had just teamed up with World Financial Liberty or whatever, the Trump thing, also teamed up with XLM. And, Ondo, I believe, is going to be a big one for the future. So let's take a look to see how Ondo is doing here. So around $1.34, still maintaining, holding up while the rest of the market is bleeding. So let's look at the 1 day. So we might have just saw a little bit of a move up. So 2 hour, no. So we did see a little bit of a move and then we started to reverse. So yeah, like I said, regardless of the news, regardless of partnerships or this, that, and the other thing, or things coming up for certain coins, every coin is ultimately going to get dragged down by what's happening with Bitcoin and ultimately what's happening with the macro drivers and crypto drivers. A good news announcement can pop something up real quick, but ultimately the drivers is what's going to pull it back down. And that's what happens. So although this is a great level, what I'm seeing with Ondo. But yeah, so that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Link is in the bio for that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.